In a Thursday night football showdown that was dubbed the Icy Hot Bowl, with both quarterbacks over the age of 40, the Bengals and new starting quarterback Joe Flacco completed a fourth quarter comeback over the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. This was just the fourth time in NFL history that both starting quarterbacks were over the age of 40, with the previous three all being duels between Breeze and Brady in 2020. The combination of Joe Flacco and Jamar Chase lit up the Steelers secondary as Flacco went 31 of 47 for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Jamar Chase broke the Bengals franchise record in single game receptions with 16 catches for $161 and a touchdown. Chase was unequivocally the number one target for Flacco with 23 targets on Thursday night, which is tied for the third most in a single game in NFL history. Let's dive into exactly how this duo dissected the Steelers' $174 million defense in prime time. The Steelers were adamant in playing man coverage against the Bengals, and Cincinnati did a great job of coming in with a game plan to take advantage of this. Not only were they able to attack this with quick game concepts, but maybe most importantly, they utilized a lot of the screen game with Jamar Chase to quickly get the ball to him in space and let him do what he's one of the best in the NFL at doing, and that's picking up yards after the catch. And this first play that I'm going to show here is a great example of that. This is going to be a very simple fake toss play with the running back selling the run fake motion. You got these 4 offensive linemen all selling the run fake. And this play side tackle here is going to take 2 steps and come out and look to block this corner, while you're going to get a quick 2-step tunnel screen look here from Jamar Chase and look to maybe break a tackle here by 25, or this safety here from depth and potentially spring this for a really long play. And though it doesn't spring for a massive explosive, this is an 8-yard pickup here on 1st and 10, which again keeps an offense in front of the sticks. And for a night like this where Cincinnati was able to run the ball surprisingly well against the Steelers defense, that is a big time win. So I'll let this run really quickly here and show you again. You get the tackle selling the run fake. He's coming out to the corner. Chase catches the ball, comes up, and is able to just pick up what's there for him in the space. And again, 8 yards on 1st and 10 is always going to be a win in the offense's book. This play is one of the few zone completions that I'm going to show in here, but I wanted to make sure I showed it because it's a great example of how comfortable Flacco looks in this offense and just how much of a savvy veteran he is, which is critical for this Bengals team that is looking to stay afloat with Joe Burrow's injury. So this is a rather tricky defense that the Steelers are going to be putting on display here, but again, nothing Flacco hasn't seen in his many years in the NFL. This is going to be an iteration of cover 2 invert, where we're going to have starting with 2 deep safeties, but the deep halves are actually going to be played by this safety, and this corner is going to be dropping out. These bubbles aren't greatly drawn, so excuse me. This corner is going to insert himself down as the hook defender. The flat defender is going to come out of this 6-man line of scrimmage that they have here. So this guy's going to buzz over to the flats. Patrick Queen is going to play over to the passing strength, again to that mid-read slot. And then you got another hook defender and another flat defender on this side. So again, a bit of a mess, but I'll let that run a little bit and it'll kind of take shape and make a little bit more sense once you see it. So the ball is snapped, and I'll pause it there. So hopefully this starts to make a little bit more sense. I'll let it run just a bit more. So again, flat defender here, hook, flat. Patrick Queen is playing over to the strength. Again, there's 3 receivers to this side, so he has to get from the line of scrimmage out over here to play towards the strength of the formation. And again, this corner is bailing to his deep half, and then you've got the other deep half played by this safety over here. Now I'm going to let the rest of this play run just to showcase, and I'll try to do my best to pause it right on time. Flacco's throwing the ball right now into this window between hook defender, flat defender, and deep half safety, right as Jamar Chase is hitting the top of this curl route. And again, this is perfect timing, and I didn't even mention this is 3rd and 10, and this is a 15-yard hookup to keep the chains moving and get them firmly into field goal range. So again, a critical conversion by Flacco and the Bengals here early in the first half. And I'll let this one finish out. Again, just great anticipation and timing by Flacco on this throw and hookup to Jamar Chase. Chase had no wasted movements in his route running against the Steelers. It was a beautiful thing to watch as I dove through this tape. And I wanted to showcase this play, even though it got called back, because he does score a touchdown on the very next play, but both are him winning routes against man coverage, particularly both against Jalen Ramsey. He's lined up in the slot here, and this is going to be a one-step slant, and just watch how quickly he's able to win on this route. I mean, off of the first step, and I'll try to pause it in time, he's already crossed his face off of the second step. He's already looking inside to Flacco. Unfortunately, he does not maintain possession all the way through the ground. But again, no wasted movements. There's no crazy stutters and all the shimmies. It's just very crisp. It's very clean, getting open at a very efficient rate against one of the highest paid corners in the NFL. And this is the very next play, again, in a one-on-one matchup, this time on the outside against Jalen Ramsey. It looks like he could potentially have some safety help over the top, but not 100% sure what happened here. This safety ends up biting on not even a run fake, not 100% sure what he was looking at or what their call was on defense, but it does end up being a pure one-on-one between Jalen and Jamar down here at the bottom, and Jamar, just being the elite talent that he is able to get the best of him on this fade ball. That is really well thrown by Flacco. So watch that safety there at the top of the screen on the snap of the ball. He takes that one step inside. No way he's going to be able to help Ramsey here on the outside. Ball goes out and up from Flacco. A little bit of hand fighting. It ended up being called DPI against Jalen Ramsey. Either way, doesn't matter. Touchdown by Jamar Chase. Gets it on the first one, isn't able to maintain possession. They come back, reset the next play, still gets the touchdown anyway. Both man-to-man rep wins against Jalen Ramsey. Next one, we are late in the second quarter here, and we're going to get Jamar motioning across the formation. This is going to be the tell for Flacco. So as Jamar is here, motioning across into the slot, you're going to see Ramsey mirrors his motion. That gives him the tell that this is going to be man coverage. And this is going to be kind of a pseudo flood concept, if you will. This guy's going to must outside release on this go route, and Jamar is going to line up here in the slot, comes out, and he's going to run a deep out route with a trailing drag route coming from this backside. So looking to work all three levels of this side of the field. But this route by Jamar, again, going back to the very little wasted movement, it's just crisp and it's clean. He's going to be here at the top of this break. He already has the leverage on Ramsey that he would like. He sticks his foot on the ground and separates at a high level. Makes this a very easy pitch and catch for Flacco. Again, this is a lot of separation in the NFL. The ball is already out from Flacco here in the pocket. And it's again a very big hookup here on 2nd and 10 as the Bengals are looking to find another score, and Jamar gets out of bounds. Again, there's 37 seconds left here in the second quarter at this moment. Fights out of bounds. Critical at this juncture to be able to set the Bengals up on what would be a field goal drive there to end the first half. Now into the second half. This time Jamar is going to be matched up on the bottom of the screen against Darius Slay. In the second half, he did switch into these orange gloves, made it a little bit easier to track on film. But again, quick game is beating this man coverage. And again, this is a very simple and crisp route that Jamar runs against Darius Slay, who was injured, I think, sometime late in the second half, if I remember. He did come back in the injured early in the first half, came back early in the second half, and Jamar Chase still was having his way with whoever he wanted to in this Pittsburgh Steelers secondary. So I'll let this one run here. Again, it's going to be a very quick slant by Jamar. He's able to pick up some nice yak on this play as well. This is 2nd and 3. As I let this one run, gets to the top of his stem, crosses face on the inside, looks for the ball, catches it at about the 39-yard line, and is able to get about 7 or 8 yards after the catch. Again, first down hookup deep into Steelers territory early in the third quarter of this one. They just really had no answers for Jamar Chase one-on-one. Like I mentioned, we've seen Ramsey, we've seen Slay. I'm sure we'll see Porter as I get through the rest of this film breakdown. None of the corners on the Steelers had anything that they could really do with Jamar Chase on this night. And right on cue, now Jamar is going to be lined up at the top of your screen. This time he's matched up against Joey Porter. This is going to be very simple cover one look by the Steelers, where you're going to have man-to-man here, man-to-man here, 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 and here. As the Bengals are in empty with 5 wide, you're going to get a 5-man pass rush with 1 deep safety kind of patrolling the middle of the field here. Now, it's a very simple short game concept, but effective, as you're going to get kind of a one-step slant, maybe even like an arrow route, some might call it, from Jamar Chase. In a rub, he doesn't really make contact with him, but he's kind of running almost like this fake screen kind of wheel route, gets in Joey Porter's way, creates just enough separation for Jamar to be able to get this catch, turn it upfield, and this ends up being a big-time gain on first down of almost 15 or so yards. So I'll let this one run in particular. So again, on the snap, you're going to see one-step slant there by Jamar. Joey Porter kind of has to avoid this contact that would be there by that inside receiver. That gives him just enough space for Jamar to get open. And the rest, again, is just him catching it, getting upfield, getting the yak. Again, nothing that the Steelers are really able to do with Jamar in man coverage, because again, they were so stubborn and not looking to really switch out of this coverage scheme the entire game, and it really bit them in the behind this entire night on Thursday Night Football. The last play I'm going to show, this was also Jamar's last target and reception of the game. So again, at this point, he has 22 targets and 15 catches on this Steeler defense, and for Steelers fans, this might have been the most frustrating play of the game from last night. Clear miscommunication. You have motion here across the backfield from T. Higgins. Once he gets set, you have Jamar here at the top of the screen. He's going to run a drag route against this zone coverage, and there's clear miscommunication amongst these 3 guys. No one goes to the right spot, and Jamar is wide open. Wide open. The pause that I'm leaving in there, wide open. He's butt naked on this route. And again, this is his 16th catch in the game. You just cannot have a coverage bust at this moment, especially with a guy who's been targeted 22 times. He has to be accounted for. And again, if I run this back, you can see, let me go back even further just to make it really clear. If you look at Patrick Queen here in particular, before the ball is snapped, once you get this motion from T. Higgins, from the top of the screen there to the bottom, you see he looks up to the safety. Guy who comes down into the box, he's trying to talk over, he's pointing, he's getting animated, he's trying to get guys to bump. There's clearly some miscommunication there, pointing from this safety at the top here. Patrick Queen is pointing, he's trying to bump over. There's just some miscommunication somewhere along the way. I'm not going to try to speculate exactly what coverage is going to be run. I'm not in the room, I'm not in the business of trying to call for anybody's job or figure out who necessarily had a misassignment, but it's clear that there was a misassignment and a coverage bust, because no guy is supposed to be that open. I can't even draw a circle big enough here. Something that clips the nearest defenders. At this point in a game, just out of a 2-minute warning, where he has 15 catches and 22 targets already. Big time coverage bust. And this play essentially nearly gets them all the way into pretty much field goal range, down to this is the 36-ish yard line. And again, this was the precursor to what ended up being that T. Higgins fade ball that ended up putting the game on ice. They took a couple knees, and Evan McPherson came in and put it away there for a big-time win for Cincinnati. But again, just a clear and evident coverage bust from this big-time paid defense in Pittsburgh. And it's really frustrating, I know, for Steelers fans to see this in such a critical moment. But it was a special night for not just Jamar Chase, but also Joe Flacco, a guy who a couple years ago was on his couch and got signed off the couch and was in Cleveland and didn't go well, and now he's traded to Cincinnati, and here he is, and he's scrapping with the Bengals and trying to keep them afloat for Joe Burrow to come back. But what a night for the both of them. Big time performances from Jamar Chase and Joe Flacco in this one as they're able to get it done. In the Icy Hot Bowl, the battle of the geriatrics, Joe Flacco comes out on top. That's going to do it for this film breakdown. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like, hit the notification bell. If you like this type of content, it's greatly appreciated. If you're interested in any long-form writing, that would be scouting reports, mock drafts, think pieces on the NFL and football in general, I do have the Substack in the description. If you'd like to subscribe to my newsletter, that would be greatly appreciated. As always, appreciate any support that you share, and I'm out.